welcome back to your review notes for Chapter 9. We've already gone through and we've determined where square roots would work best, where factoring would work best, and now we're down to the last 3 questions, and we only have 2 techniques left. So the 2 techniques that we have left are complete the square and the quadratic formula. Both work equally as well as one another, and quadratic formula basically works for anything. There's just easier techniques than using that. I find that complete the square works really well when that middle value is an even number that cuts in half. And if it's not an even number, I just go right for the quadratic formula. So let's see what we have. Question number 2. We have a squared plus 10a minus 62. Well, I'm looking at that question. I know it's not factorable because there's no 2 numbers that multiply to give you negative 62 that subtract to give you 10. Not happening. But that one would work really well with complete the square. So let's go ahead and complete the square because the middle value is easy to cut in half. So I'm going to do this on a whiteboard because I need more space to get it done. So question number 2. We're going to complete the square. So we have a squared plus 10a minus 62 equals 0. Cool. So the first step, move C to the right. Middle number divide. Remember, we divide by 2 always. That's why this is a good technique for this one, because 10 divided by 2 is something I know. It's something we all know. That would be 5. So move C to the right. Middle number divide. Square it. Add that value to both sides. So 5 squared. That's at 25. Awesome blossom. Factor. Thinking of 2 numbers that multiply to give me 25 that add to give me 10. That would be 5 and 5. That's going to be A, and it's going to be plus and plus. We have 2 of the exact same thing. And the reason that is that's a trinomial square. So now we have to do 62 plus 25. 62 plus 25, that's 5, 6, 7. 87. That's an interesting number because I know for a fact that is not a perfect square. So, let's keep going. Now this looks like a square root question now. We can take the square root of both sides. We have a plus 5 equals plus or minus, I don't know you. So you keep your radical. It's plus or minus rad of 87. I don't know what the rad of 87 is. I know what the rad of 81 is. That's 9. 87, I'm going to go with bigger than 9. But other than that, I'm just going to solve for the variable, minus 5 on both sides. A equals minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 87. Your final answer, the variable has been isolated, the letters alone equal to the answer on the other side. Great, number 2 is done. So let's look at the last 2 on our homework, which is on our notes, which is 5 and 8. So let's look at question number 5. Well, we know it's not a good technique for factoring because it doesn't factor. We know it has a middle term, so square roots are out. I would not want to cut 9 in half and use complete the square. So my go-to technique for this one is going to be the quadratic formula. Number 8, I would also use the quadratic formula. Why? Because that middle term is not something I want to cut in half. So let's go for it. Let's do questions 5 and 8. I'm going to do it on the whiteboard. So question number 5, we have b squared minus 9b plus 3 equals 0. A is going to be 1. It's the value in the front. B is going to be negative 9. C is going to be 3. So go ahead. I'm going to skip one of our steps. There was a negative boy. There were some pluses and minuses to a radical party. Didn't want to be a square. Missed the 4 awesome cuties. Party gets over it. 2 a.m. I'm going to plug in what I know about the different variables. -9, -9, 1, 3, and 1. I'm going to clean it up. Negative, negative makes a positive. -9 squared is 81. Oh, we have a subtraction here. A single negative. And we have 4 times 1 times 3, which is 12, all over 2 times 1, which is 2. X equals 9 plus or minus the square root of, so be careful here, use a calculator if need be. 81, take away 12 equals 69 all over 2. And we are done. Can someone tell me why we're done? Yep, you're right, because 69 is not a perfect square. 64 is, 81 is, but not 69. So we are done with our final answer. So 9 plus or minus the radical of 69 all over 2. That's our final answer there. Awesome. So let's do question number 6, which is very similar. So question number 6, we are also going to use the quadratic formula because that middle term is not something I want to cut in half. So here we go. So we have question number 8. Question number 8 is n squared minus 7n minus 3 equals 0. A is 1, B is -7, C is -3. We have x equals -b plus or minus b squared, whoops, putting my blanks in, b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So -7, -7, 1, -3, and 1. We're going to clean it up a little bit. Double negative is a positive. -7 squared is positive 49. Be careful right here. We have a double negative. 4 times 1 times 3 is 12. All over 2 times 1, which is 2. So let's keep going here. So we have x equals 7 plus or minus the square root of. So 49 plus 12 is 61 all over 2. And 61 is not a perfect square, so this is my final answer. And technically there's 2 answers sitting here. There's 7 plus rad 61 all over 2, and there's 7 minus rad 61 all over 2. Or you can write it in this combined fashion. Okay, we are at the end of our notes. Make sure that you have great notes that will help you on your 2-part Chapter 9 assessment. Good luck. Bye.